Okay. And we have Sarah's here, and then we'll have some others. We'll start in a minute, and then we can uh, move along. Sarah, can you try to put something in the Q&A or chat? Any questions? Are you able to access it? I apologize if you can't, but hi, Deiko-san. Thank you for joining. Okay, Q&A open. Okay. Oh, good, good. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Deiko-san, can you text in the Q&A? Do you have any questions or anything you want to add? Okay. If not, we're going to get started. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We are going to do part two of the second part, gathering customer feedback, number 4 of 6 webinars. And we have, again, Ted Saihara from Hibiscus Interactive, who has put together some really good ideas for gathering feedback and to get to know your customer better. And I'm going to share our screen here for a presentation, and then we can get started. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Ted.
Thank you, Lyle. Hi, everyone. Just like what Lyle's just said, yesterday we discussed customer feedback and why seeking feedback at the Hankyu Hawaiʻi Fair is essential. I provided some tips, recommendations on what feedback companies should seek from Japanese customers and the importance of having customer feedback for your business. In today's webinar, we will discuss how to gather feedback, report to DBEDT post-fair, and analyze your customer data after you return from the fair. But before we jump in to the presentation, again, this is, like what Lyle said, a 6-part webinar series. The first 2 occurred last week, the 3rd and 4th this week, and today's the 4th, and the final 2 when we return from the fair. These webinars contain short, bite-sized information so you can digest and execute immediately. So I hope these information will be helpful for you. We only have a few weeks left until the fair begins. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. So let's get started. Next slide, please, Lyle. How to gather feedback. On the list I have here, direct customer interactions. When you are at the fair, speak to the customers if they can speak English. If they don't speak as well, try hard to understand and they will appreciate your efforts. And through the communication that you create, try to ask and obtain some questions that you have. Survey responses. I mentioned this in my previous webinars. You can use tools like Google Forms, it's very easy to use, or SurveyMonkey to have customers complete your questionnaire. Ideally, on an iPad tablet will be great with these online tools, but honestly, a pen and a paper will work too. The next is the online reviews. Before and after the fair, go online and see if anyone has posted anything about your brand in Japanese. You can use ChatGPT to translate your name or your brand name and then try Google searching it. If you find some results, I would translate that page and see what they are saying. In Japan, customer service expectations are very, very high. So feedback plays a crucial role in determining complaints and ensuring an exceptional customer experience for them. So feedback allows companies to align with customer expectations, strengthening loyalty, and driving growth in your business in Japan. Next slide, please. Direct methods for gathering feedback. I mentioned this in the previous screen. Again, I want to make sure that you guys understand these surveys and questionnaires are direct methods commonly used. The tools mentioned, again, Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, but I'm showing you that Line app logo. Maybe even an Line app polls you can use. This would be after the fair. But if you gain customers to follow you on the Line app, you can send them a poll to see if, their opinions on your products and learn about their thinking. In Japan, business incorporate these feedback tools into their service processes, ensuring they capture the customer's voice. So I highly recommend using these tools at the Hankyu Hawaii Fair. Next slide, please. Indirect methods for gathering these feedback. Social media monitoring and online review analysis are indirect ways of gathering feedback. I mentioned this in the previous online review section before, but this is an opportunity to search for reviews and comments about you and your brand online and on social media. Find out what they're saying about you. These methods are very relevant, very, very relevant in Japan because digital engagement is high and Japanese customers frequently share their experiences online. This is a very common thing. Next slide, please. Oh, and I believe here Lyle will have some information to share about reporting to DBED post-fair.
Great, thank you, Ted. So for the participants, the key here is that we need to have you all register for HiSTEP. I think some of you have, many of you have not, just the way that the contact has been through Hankyu, through your importer, it's not through one way. You must register for HiSTEP. So you get onboarded into our system, and then we will send you an online form after the fair to report your results. So basically total sales, and then we'll leave some spaces for some sort of method, either drop down or a text box. But we do want to know what products sold the best, right? Out of your lineup, you found out, okay, this one out of 3 products out of 10 products, this one sold the best. And if you can find out why, right? Was it because of fit? Was it because of packaging? Was it timing, right? Seasonal, what have you? It's really trendy. Anything that will help you definitely will help us, meaning DBED helping all companies. And we're not going to share individual company strategic confidential information, but we'd like to aggregate things by category, right? So if you're an apparel company, if you're art, if you're fragrance, right? We want to get the best, practices, if you will, so that we can help all companies move forward, right? And then also too, letting you know how do you make your next product better, right? Or create a new product or what have you, right? So all this feedback should drive you to think, how do you get better at serving your customer needs, right? And then any other, probably have a text box, what other customer feedback? Love your vibe. I love the fact that you came, right? I want to see you in Hawaii. I'm going to follow you, right? All the things that we want them to do. But then there's always the things that we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. So you find out these things that, wow, I never even thought about that. And so that kind of insight can also help you. But we would love you to share that with DBED, because then we can, again, help more companies as well as come back and help you further, right? Ultimately, we're trying to support you. You're our client. You're our constituent. We have many clients. We have about 60 companies going to Hankyu this year. We have the potential for many more because we are going to expand beyond the physical fair. Yeah. Helping you get better, helping everyone get better. Everyone, their boat will float, right? If we all work together. We're all in the same canoe, right? So any kind of information that you feel comfortable with. We're not forcing you to do stuff that is going to be anti-competitive, but know this, that you have mentors who have been ahead of you, that they should be giving back, and they do give back and helping you. So, it is a collective thing, right? I don't want to go on too much more, but there will be a welcome lunch on Tuesday, the day of the load in, a chance for everybody to meet everybody else. Yeah. And there are so-called veteran companies, right? Experienced companies, like they've been doing 10 years. They're the go-to people, right? Mentors for you. There are people that, they'll share stuff. And hopefully everyone can really work together because that's what we need to do. Consolidate shipping, right? How do we cut costs? It's through scale. So this whole idea of being part of the community starts with, people sharing things. And I think you do that already. So it's not anything outside of what you already do. And I have a comment from Neko-san, working on feedback. Yeah, we can work with you on that, Neko-san. Let's definitely talk about that. How to ask your customers to email their impressions. I mean, that's your fan base, right? So let's all figure out ways to gather information and intelligence. Okay. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you. And just before I continue, Reiko-san has a great 3-part webinar about logistics and customs. I watched it multiple times, learned so much from her on the recent 3-part webinar. So if you have time, I would highly recommend watching Reiko-san's webinars. Lyle has access to it, has links to it. So please ask if you're interested. Lyle, next slide, please. So this is my favorite part of the presentation. Here, I'll go over how we can analyze your data in Google Analytics and social media insights, specifically after the fair. Also, as I mentioned before, it is very, again, this is, I think, my 3rd time mentioning this, very useful to find customer comments and feedback online and on social media. Next slide, please. Here you can see in Google Analytics on the left screen, you can see where people are coming from when they're visiting, how many clicks, how many times people are coming from these specific locations. On the right is from Meta or Instagram in this case, seeing where they're coming from, who they are, age. I'll talk about it. But after the fair, you can check your Google Analytics to see if traffic is coming from Japan. This is a great way to measure your performance and outcome from attending the fair. You can also find out what city and prefecture visitors are accessing your website from, as I mentioned, as well as their gender, age, interest, language, to determine if the audience you want is visiting your site. You can also see what search terms, what they're typing when they're on Google, search terms they used to visit your website during a specific period, let's say during the Hankyu Fair period. You want to have the word, possibly Hankyu Hawaii Fair, entered somewhere on your website before and after the fair, hoping to see if someone uses the keywords and lands on your website. It would also be interesting to compare data during and after the fair to see if there are any differences. So many things you can do with all this data. Meta insights may be slightly more limited in data, but you can see locations, top cities, countries that people are visiting your profile from, their age, gender, and active times. This is how you can see impact and the Japanese interest level toward your brand with actual data. Next slide, please. In the next webinar that we'll be doing on August 6th and 7th, I will show you how to access all of your data in Google Analytics and Insights. I will use screenshots and possibly videos to show you exactly how to navigate to the data you need. Then I will show you how to study and use your data results for marketing and advertising purposes. Also, I will show you how to apply the data to your business by integrating it into your marketing tools. And finally, some other important topics we'll be discussing are, and this is not on this slide, prepare for Japanese online and in-person sales in Hawaii. This is going to be exciting to talk about. Optimize your e-commerce website for Japanese customers. What digital marketing and advertising tools are available targeting the Japan market? And finally, preparing for the next business activities in Japan, Hawaii, and the US. Thank you.
Okay, looks like Bridget, you came on late. Do you have any questions? You can put something in the Q&A if you would like. Any burning questions now? You can email Ted directly, or you can also email me, lyle.h.fujikawa@hawaii.gov. Nicholas, thank you for your suggestion on the feedback. Let's definitely talk about that. I think that's going to be a good access or way to access intelligence. Okay. Okay. I don't see anything, Bridget or Sarah. So we're going to finish here. It's going to be recorded. I'll send it to all of you, and be sure to mark. We will remind everybody the next steps. Obviously, preparing for the fair, but we're going to have to get you all registered if you're not. Also, make sure that you attend the event or the webinars on August 6th, Tuesday, and Wednesday, August 7th. And we will prepare for that so that we'll figure out a good way to get the feedback through online forums, as well as having that live discussion. I think that'll be really helpful because it will spark some things. Nico-san had asked, it's a little bit different question, but what kind of promotion should brands do? Definitely, let your clientele know, especially if they're in Japan. If you can, I think it's the embargo's lifted, right? I think you can say you're going to be at Hankyu. Check with your importer. Yeah, check with your importer and say, can I talk about Hankyu Fair on Instagram, X, Twitter, website, right? The things that Ted was saying to prepare. Let people know in Hawaii that you're going. But if you hashtag it for Japanese consumption, which we should, right? That's a good point, Reiko-san, getting the hashtags from Hankyu. If we use their Japanese hashtags, then that should get you noticed a bit. Yeah. So we'll follow up with, I think we can get you some of those Japanese hashtags. You can just copy and paste them into your posts. And then, Ted, do you have anything else that you can offer in terms of prior?
Regarding, letting people know, notifying them, marketing, PR, we discussed it last week in the webinar 1 and 2. So if when people hopefully see our videos, they can get more of that reach out, the marketing concepts that we discussed last week.
Sounds good. So we'll make sure that people have everything, the slides and the recordings, say this is important for you to do now. And then get the hashtags from Japan as well. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, we definitely discussed that and trying to get those hashtags from, again, Hankyu Fair's, let's say, Instagram account.
Yeah, we'll get that right away. Okay. Okay, so Hankyu will announce the details in public June 19. Okay, so that's coming up next week. So it will be fully, embargo will be lifted. So start preparing now, and then June 19 will come, and then we can go full blown, and it's about a month away, right? So actually less than Anyway, good stuff, Ted. Thank you very much. Any other questions, ladies? Uh, Seeing none, we're going to finish here, and then we'll let you get back to preparing, and then we'll be in touch by email again, and let everybody know how to get started and get ready. So thank you very much. See you soon.